Gemini, welcome to your February 2025 monthly horoscope. My name is Adeana. I'm an intuitive astrologer, and in this video, I will be going over all of the major themes, topics, and energy you will be navigating for the month ahead. I have broken this monthly horoscope down by week, and I've selected a chart for each week to give you a bit of a visual. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you align with my energy and enjoy my content. Now, first, before we get into the monthly horoscope, let's first touch on the February 2025 transits. So, on February 1st, we're going to have Venus forming a conjunction to Neptune first at 27 degrees 59 minutes. And then later on, a few hours later, Venus is going to form a conjunction to the North Node at 28 degrees 9 minutes. On February 3rd, Mercury in Aquarius is going to form a trine to Jupiter retrograde in Gemini at 11 degrees. February 4th, we will have Venus entering Aries, Jupiter stationing direct, pretty much about an hour apart, actually. And then February 6th, we are going to have the North Node Neptune conjunction at 28 degrees of Pisces. On February 9th, we will have our Mercury Cazimi at 21 degrees of Aquarius. This is when the Mercury and the Sun form a conjunction. And that same day, we will have Mars retrograde in Cancer, forming a trine to Saturn in Pisces at 18 degrees. On February 10th, we will have Mercury in Aquarius, forming a square to Uranus in Taurus at 23 degrees. And then on February 12th, we get our full moon in Leo at 24 degrees. And I don't touch too much on the lunations for the monthly horoscopes because I do make separate videos on the new moons and the full moons and getting into the charts for the new moons and the full moons and all 12 rising signs, which so I'll touch on the lunations much deeper in a later forecast, but I'll give you kind of some insight into the areas of life the lunations will be affecting and activating. On February 14th, we'll have Mercury entering Pisces. On February 18th, we will have the Sun entering Pisces. And then on February 23rd, we will have Mars stationing direct in Cancer at 17 degrees. And on February 25th, we will have Mercury forming a conjunction to Saturn in Pisces at 20 degrees. And then on February 27th, we get our new moon in Pisces at 9 degrees. And this is not an eclipse. However, I still feel like it is going to be extremely powerful. It may even feel like an eclipse, and it's definitely going to be bringing some new energy, events, themes, and topics that you will be playing out over the next 18 months, having the nodes in Pisces and Virgo. So now let's get into the charts and the monthly horoscope. So, the first week, February 1st, we have our Venus North Node conjunction, Venus Neptune conjunction. Venus is going to form a conjunction to Neptune first at, like I said, at 27 degrees, and then a couple hours later, we'll form a conjunction to the North Node at 28 degrees. Now, you have Pisces in your 10th house of career, public reputation, your legacy. Um, Leadership, authority. And so, this area of life, having that North Node there, actually, if you haven't checked out my lunar node video with the nodes being in Virgo and Pisces, make sure you do so. I will link it up here, plus at the end of this horoscope, because I really get deep into what the nodes can bring in Virgo and Pisces. And I also get into all 12 rising signs. But having the North Node kind of transiting that 10th house can bring something new in around career, around your public image, your public reputation, around you as an authority figure, or your relationship to authority figures, or your relationship to leaders in your life, or you as a leader, possibly within your career. But the North Node represents something new. So it's a new journey, a new direction, and can feel very unknown. The South Node kind of represents either something from the past or something that we need to release and let go of. And that's going to be in your fourth house of home, family, property, and real estate. So there's going to be a lot of changes in this axis. Over the next 18 months. So when we have activations in Pisces, especially with the North Node, there can be more energy events, more to that story that will be playing out. Now, Venus forming a conjunction to Neptune, um, Venus rules your 12th house of things that are hidden, like hospitals, asylums, retreat centers, also people that are hidden. Sometimes it can represent hidden relationships, things kind of going on behind the scenes that nobody knows about. Sometimes things even going on behind the scenes that you don't know about. Also, your subconscious, it's very karmic in the 12th house and can also represent escapism, self undoing, self sabotaging. And so can Neptune. So, when Venus forms in conjunction to Neptune, you definitely want to have self awareness, want to make sure you're not falling into any escapism traps or any self sabotaging or self undoing patterns or behaviors. Um, and then Venus also rules your fifth house of children, creativity, passion, romance. So those themes and topics can also be highlighted with the Venus conjunction to Neptune and North Node. Possibly something around children, possibly something around romantic partnerships, creative pursuits, your hobbies, um, what you do for fun, what you're passionate about. That's all in the fifth house. On February 3rd, when we have Mercury in Aquarius forming a trine to Jupiter, which is currently in your first house, um, which is interesting. Sometimes when Jupiter transits the first house, we can struggle with it really depends on your relationship with Jupiter. I find it can be a mixed bag. I've seen some people struggle with like laziness and motivation because sometimes Jupiter can bring like and it all depends on the energy you have in your chart too. But Jupiter is the great benefic, right? The planet of expansion, but it can sometimes bring like overindulgent energy or laziness. I've seen some people gain weight with Jupiter in the first house. But also Jupiter can bring amazing opportunities, right? And so when Mercury forms a trine to Jupiter, and this is like a day before Jupiter is going to station direct. This is at 11 degrees. Mercury is in your ninth house. Now, the ninth house rules long distance travel, higher education, higher knowledge, wisdom, your belief systems, philosophy, religion. You can get some really positive information if you're planning a trip. You could get some really positive information around that. You can have a really positive conversation with somebody at a college or university if that's applicable. Or the ninth house also represents teaching. So if that's kind of an avenue that you're taking, you can receive. Mercury rules communication, news, information. And so that's something that can come in for you on this day. Now, Jupiter is going to station direct on February 4th. And if you have your ascendant around that 11 degrees, you're going to really feel this a lot more intense than, some of the other signs. So you definitely want to know where your ascendant degree point is. But Jupiter stationing direct can bring in something really sudden. And Jupiter ruling your seventh house of relationships and one-on-one connections could be something around that. Or it could just be like an epiphany, all of a sudden feeling really optimistic about a situation or an event. Um, and Jupiter also rules belief systems too. And Pluto now being in that ninth house of belief systems, like Pluto's going to be completely transforming this area of your life over the next 20 years. There could be something you're navigating around belief systems at this time too, with just having Jupiter in this first house. Since spring of 2024. Now, Venus is going to enter Aries. So, Venus is going to enter your 11th house of friends and friendships, social groups, online connections, networking. All of the groups and associations you are connected to is in that 11th house. Also, your hopes, your dreams. So, there could be more focus on friendships, or you could even Venus in the 11th house. And Venus is going to station retrograde on March 1st. So, Venus is currently in pre shadow. So, we want to be paying attention through the entire month of February February, what is showing up for us around these Venusian themes and topics, because we will be revisiting these themes and topics and events, reassessing, revisiting over the next few months. It's not whatever Venus is bringing up for you around friendships, around groups, around how you connect to friends, your social groups, your hopes, your dreams, networking, maybe what you're putting online, and also your career and your public image, public reputation. You will be revisiting those themes and topics over the next few months. So definitely pay attention, even to with the Venus conjunction to Neptune in the North Node. Whatever that brings in for you around the 1st of February, you want to kind of make note of that, because those can be, again, events or themes that you will revisit over the next few months. On February 6th, we will have our North Node Neptune conjunction in Pisces at 28 degrees. This is where um, we can experience something. Now, there could be something new coming in for the 18-month kind of journey that you will be taking around your career, public image, public reputation. Um, with Neptune, though, we want to make sure that we're seeing things clearly. We want to make sure we don't have rose-colored glasses on. Sometimes Neptune can blur boundaries, and also just make things kind of over idealized situations and people. So we do want to have awareness around that. On February 9th, we will have our Mercury Sun conjunction, which is our Mercury Cazimi at 21 degrees of Aquarius. So, again, this is where you can have some powerful information, conversation, or insight around traveling, around higher education, around your direction, because Mercury is your chart ruler. So, it could be something that you are planning on, like a direction you're planning on moving in. Mercury also rules your fourth house of home, family, property, and real estate. And because we also have this south node there, whenever we have Mercury transits, we want to pay extra close attention to now, because Mercury has that connection to the south node, which can be bringing up what needs to be released, what needs to be let go of, especially around home, family, property, real estate. There's something you're supposed to be moving away from in this area of life, or something coming back from the past. And this is where you can get some insight to that with the Mercury Cazimi. On that same day, we will have Mars retrograde in Cancer, forming a trine to Saturn in Pisces at 18 degrees. So, Mars retrograde in Cancer is in your second house of money, finances, material possessions, also your personal values, forming a trine to Saturn in Pisces. This is a very emotional energy. And Mars and Cancer can already be bringing emotions up from the past, even old family dynamics that you're having to address. Um, this can be something around career, because it's that Saturn in the 10th house and there's all this Pisces energy. So there could be something around your money and finances and career, but it's a trine. So it can be an opportunity, or it's something supportive, something kind of just flowing in naturally. You don't really have to take action. You could hear of like, um, a new position that's available that is a significant amount of money, within your career. That's one way this could show up, because it is your 10th house of career, second house of money and finances. So I would pay attention on this day to kind of what is showing up with that trine between Mars retrograde and Saturn. But just because it's a trine and it's in water signs, um, and both Cancer and Pisces can be very emotional, very sensitive, very intuitive. I would also pay attention to what emotions are kind of bubbling to the surface this day. Um, there can be a lot from the past, a lot spiritually that you're having to navigate. And again, it's positive. It's all positive. It's a trine. So if there's stuff that's already been triggered, because we had this kind of dance between Mars retrograde and Uranus retrograde in January, which I believe stirred up a lot of past emotions around family dynamics, and maybe even your internal foundations and what you need to feel safe, secure, comfortable, what you need for stability emotionally. There can be something really beautiful coming in to help you with what you've already been navigating around that, if that is something you've kind of been moving through. Now, once we get to our second week of February, on the 10th, we have Mercury and Aquarius forming a square to Uranus and Taurus at 23 degrees. So, this is where there can just be like some really sudden information. This can be more collectively. You may have some unexpected conversation with a family member or hear something kind of unexpected that you're having to navigate. Again, Mercury is your chart ruler, so there can be just something on this day, like just jot February 10th down. There could just be something that kind of pops up out of nowhere. It is Uranus. It can be a little bit disruptive. Um, and again, too, because it's associated with that 12th house. So it could have to do with things that are hidden that maybe you didn't see clearly, something that was maybe going on behind the scenes that now you kind of know about. You just want to kind of have that awareness on this day to see what is presented, what information you're receiving, even your intuitive downloads, because it's connected to that 12th house and Pisces energy. So you definitely, well, actually, at this point, Mercury will still be in Aquarius, but we still have a lot of Pisces energy. So we're in a lot of intuitive spiritual energy just naturally without any more planets in there, but we're going to get more planets in Pisces. But yeah, this is just a day to also, because Mercury would be in Aquarius if you were planning a trip, if you were planning on traveling, or again, higher education, college, university, teaching, those ninth house themes and topics. There can be something unexpected showing up, or something disruptive, or something kind of putting a hold or a stop to your plans, the progress of whatever you kind of had planned there. So yeah, just be aware on that day. And then on February 12th, we will have our full moon in Leo at 24 degrees, which is going to be here in your third house. Again, I don't touch too much on the lunations and the horoscopes, but your third house rules community, neighbors, your day-to-day travels, your vehicle, local travel. So, your trip, your drive to the grocery store, your trip to the grocery store, the corner store, also siblings, cousins, and then the third house also rules your mindset, communication, how you speak, how you read, how you write, how you express yourself. That's all in that third house. And how I use the full moons is whatever intentions you set at the time of the new moon in that sign. Now is when you can see those intentions come to fruition. And so if you did set intentions at the new moon in Leo, 6 months prior around maybe shifting your mindset in some way or something around siblings or community or vehicles, now is when you can see that manifest. However, this full moon will be forming a T square to Uranus. So there's going to be some tension here. There's going to be a need to kind of budge and think outside the box. But again, I will get more deeper into that energy in a later forecast. And February 14th, we will have Mercury entering Pisces right here in your 10th house of career and public reputation. And then in week 3, February 18th, we will have the sun enter Pisces. So again, bringing more planets, more focus to that 10th house, Pisces energy. Um, so there can be a lot of focus around career. There could be a lot of focus around your public image at this time, how you're known out in the world. Also, where, authority figures to you or leadership. That's also in the 10th house, or where you have to be a leader, an authority. That can be in the 10th house. And then February 23rd, we're going to have Mars stationing direct. It's 17 degrees of Cancer, which is here in your second house of money, finances, and material possessions and personal values. So this is where Mars stations direct. We've been kind of moving through this Mars retrograde energy since December 6th, 2024. So it'll be nice to have Mars direct. There can be something activated at this time around your money and finances, not necessarily. There could be something activated at this time around your personal values, um, around emotions too, because Mars is, kind of connecting to all this energy in Pisces. So past emotions, emotions from the past, old family dynamics presenting themselves again. Those are all things you kind of want to be aware of, and not necessarily bad, but they could just surface. And then week 4, February 25th, we will have Mercury forming a conjunction to Saturn in Pisces at 20 degrees. Um, So Mercury is going to form a conjunction to Saturn right up here. Mercury is your chart ruler. So this is where there can be sometimes it depends on your personal relationship with Saturn. Saturn can bring hardship and challenge, restriction, limitation, but sometimes Saturn just rules commitments and responsibilities and where we need to be more disciplined. So this is in your 10th house of career and public reputation. So it can definitely show up in that way, or because Mercury is your chart ruler and literally rules you and your character, your personality, your physical body. There could be something around that you're having to navigate. There can be something around home, family, property, and real estate because Mercury rules, that fourth house. Um, so you definitely want to pay attention around the 25th of February, what is presented with this Mercury Saturn conjunction. You could have just maybe a really important conversation with someone that ends up playing out in this 18-month, journey. It all depends. But you definitely want to pay attention to what is showing up on that day. And then February 27th, we will have our new moon in Pisces at 9 degrees. So this is a great time for you to set intentions around your career and public reputation. And even though this is not an eclipse, it's still going to be quite powerful. And there's still going to be activations, themes, topics, and events showing up to that 18-month story playing out and whatever new direction you're moving into in this area of life. So again, you want to pay attention on that day too. Now, if you would like to book a one-on-one consultation with me, I will put the link in the description below. I offer birth chart readings, solar return readings, lunar return readings. The birth chart reading is a 90-minute reading. We get into your birth chart plus all of your current transits, and then the solar return reading is another 90-minute reading. We analyze your solar return chart, compare it to your birth chart, and also your New Year chart, and then the lunar return chart, which I analyze your lunar return chart for the next 3 months. So you get kind of a 90-day forecast, personal forecast of major themes, topics, and events that you'll be navigating. So I will have all that listed in the description below. I hope this helps you navigate the energies for February. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you align with my energy and enjoy my content. And I will connect with you all in the next one.